Hello, my name's Ryan Tomaszewski, and I will be presenting my final project for this class. So, to provide some context on my work plan project, two main goals have been determined. One is to raise team morale, and the other one is to raise employee engagement. These goals were determined by the employee survey results that were gained earlier this year. And four main solutions have been given for these goals to be met, which is having cash incentives for employees, hiring more employees, having some after work events like a cocktail hour or something, and improving work life balance on our team. So these four solutions have been determined to be the deliverables for this project. In the slide that you can see, I have created a table to kind of show the progression slash timelines of these goals. Improving work-life balance will be in the first quarter, after work events will be in the second quarter, cash incentives will be in the third quarter, and hiring more employees will be in the fourth quarter. So overall, reaching our two goals will take about a year's time. So to provide some rationale for the not only selection, but for the time frames of each of the four solutions given, the first one, as you saw, Q1 was work-life balance. This was chosen because there's no real monetary costs compared to the other three solutions given, so it'll most likely be the easiest to implement first. After work events are easier and cheaper than incentives and hiring people, so this was chosen second. Would probably cost maybe like 50 to 100 bucks for my company to be like, hey, let's have a happy hour at this local bar. Payroll is often the top expenses at a job, so incentives and hirings will be near the end. There's always a lot of red tape and HR approvals that come with trying to hire people or give people bonuses or really anything, again, with monetary value. So it is expected for these tasks to take months to complete to begin with. So having them towards the end of the project is totally fine. So this final project slash presentation is to give our results of this semester long project. Out of the four solutions that I've given, none of them have been met yet, but that was expected. Obviously, the class is only 8 weeks. It'd be very hard to hire people and do all that stuff in even 6 months, I would say. However, with that being said, there has been meaningful change that has been started to be made. The original employee survey that I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation has been modified, revisions have been made to it, and I have actually shown my immediate manager these changes. And overall, he actually likes the changes and supports my idea of why the employee survey needs to have modifications. So, since none of the deliverables have been met and there's really only been one major change that's happened, which is the employee survey, most of this presentation is going to be focused on that. As we've discussed in our readings and literature, there's different modes that can be used to convey a message that needs to be sent to a listener. This survey is now using three different modes. The first one being color. Color is being used to highlight what is good or bad in the survey results. Survey results that are below expectations will be highlighted red, while those that are meet or are above expectations will be highlighted green. This will make it easier for management to aggregate the data and actually look and see what is good and what is bad. The second mode is numbers, specifically percentages, will be used to monitor how much progress has been made towards goals. So if we say, okay, we want team morale to go up by 50% by the end of the year, these surveys will have a percentage somewhere on it that'll show we're about 20% of the way there, 30% of the way there, which is good because it'll help promote transparency between employees and leadership. I know you've probably been at a job before where management has said, oh yeah, we'll get to that. Oh yeah, we'll do that. And then it's never brought up again. So having this number that people can see and actually realize that progress is being made will actually keep employees incentivized to keep answering these surveys. Lastly, words are being used to modify the questions on the survey so they more accurately capture data that is needed. The words have been modified so that they're more specific and not open to any sort of interpretation. However, there is going to be a free text box added at the end of the survey where employees can type anything in that they think is important that wasn't captured by the initial questions that we have. My manager actually really liked that idea, and he actually said it would be good to have for any potential new questions that we could add onto the survey. Like, say, for example, if a lot of people wrote about salary in the free text box, the next iteration of survey that we have could have a multiple choice question that says, what do you think of your salary? If a lot of people are talking about it in the free text box, obviously that means it's important to them. Lastly, the employee survey is going to be increased from given out once a year to once a quarter, so should be given about 3 to 4 times a year now. So, with all that being said, I think overall we've made pretty good progress on this. I honestly was surprised to see how my coworkers and immediate manager reacted in such a positive light towards this survey. Uh, to be honest, I'm usually pretty hard on myself, and I don't think I have a lot of good ideas at my job. I'm one of the newest employees on my team, and I'm also 26 years old. I think the person close in the age in me is like 34, 35, so I'm very young compared to everybody else on my team. So it's hard to feel like you know what you're doing, especially when you work with people who might have more work experience than you do have literal life experience. So, lastly, the changes have not been brought up to the higher ups yet. However, we're hoping to have a meeting with one of our directors soon, explain the changes that we want to make on the survey, and that is hoping to happen towards maybe the end of summer. So, maybe late August, early September.